Hey, what's up guys? It's great to see you all again, and if you're new here, I'm Patrick and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. So, a couple of months ago, I reviewed the Samsung T7 SSD drive and compared it to the T5 as well as the Sandisk Xtreme. I got a lot of great feedback from you guys, so thank you so much for that. And many of you rightly noted that the T7 is much faster than the T5 and the Sandisk Xtreme, and that it would be awesome to put it up against the faster Sandisk Xtreme Pro V2. So I decided to do you one better, and I also got the Samsung X5 as well as the Lacie Rugged Pro Thunderbolt 3 drive. We're going to talk about design, durability, price, and of course, speed. So get ready for the clash of the titans, the battle of the beasts. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
Just a quick sidebar, you may have noticed that it said paid promotion at the beginning of the video. That does not include any of the drives we're testing today. I partnered with a software company I like, more on that later, but I paid for the drives with my own money, nobody sent me anything, and neither Samsung nor Lacie nor Sandisk are sponsoring me. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's see what we get in each box. We saw in the previous video that the T7 comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable as well as a USB-C to USB-C. The Sandisk comes with two very short cables, one USB-A to USB-C and one USB-C to USB-C. The Lacie comes with one super short Thunderbolt 3 cable, and the X5 comes with a Thunderbolt 3 cable as well, but that one is noticeably longer. You can pick up the Samsung T7 Touch for $189 on Amazon. The Sandisk comes in at $299 for the 1TB version, the Samsung X5 costs $399 for 1TB, and the Lacie Rugged Pro will also cost you $399. The Sandisk promises read and write speeds of up to 2000 Mbps. The Samsung claims to read at 2800 and write at 2300 Mbps. And the Lacie boasts 2800 read and write. Moving on to the design, which is quite different for all four of these drives. Two of the drives are definitely pocketable. The T7 is the slickest of the bunch and slides right into your pocket, no problem. It is roughly the size of a credit card, ultra thin, and weighs only 58 grams. The fingerprint scanner on the front doesn't only offer an extra layer of protection, but it also just looks cool. I won't go into much more detail about the T7 since we already covered that in the previous video. If you're interested in a more in-depth look, click the card up here to see the full review. Next up is the Sandisk Xtreme Pro V2. It is important to note that it is the V2 since that is almost twice as fast as the regular Xtreme Pro. Right out of the box, you'll see that it is significantly bigger than the Xtreme Pro. It is also twice as heavy at 85 grams, probably because it uses aluminum where the Xtreme Pro uses plastic. It still has the same rubberized, rugged exterior, and it can still easily fit in your pockets. At a rating of IP55, it's dust and water resistant, just like its predecessor. There's something about the extra weight though that makes me feel less comfortable doing a drop test. But we're a tech channel, so we're gonna do it anyway. Our next drive is arguably even more rugged, and that is the Lacie Rugged Pro Thunderbolt 3 drive. It's a little shorter than the Sandisk, but also much thicker and a little wider. It's also heavier at 100 grams, which makes me even more anxious to do this. I guess you could fit this in your pocket, but it's gonna be a bit on the bulky side. It's thicker than my iPhone 12 mini. Its most impressive feature from a design perspective has to be the IP rating. It is IP67, which means it can be fully submerged into water and still be okay. If you're a creator and you're out in the field a lot, this can be very useful. Moving on to our last drive in the comparison, the Samsung X5. And let's just say, we saved the weirdest for last. What is up with this design? It looks like it's about to be called home by the mothership. It's fully made of magnesium with a gunmetal gray top and this bright red bottom. I guess you won't easily lose this drive, unless you drop it red side down of course. While this is by far the heaviest of the bunch at 150 grams, it definitely feels less rugged than the Lacie and the Sandisk. It does not have an IP rating, so do not drop this in any liquids, and I'm not gonna do a drop test. I love you guys, but I'm afraid I am going to either scratch the metal or chip my desk. It's the largest design, so you probably don't want to stick this in your pocket, although the weird design's only plus side might be that it actually slips in a little easier. And now for the important part, the speed test. But before we get into that, guys, let's talk about keeping your data safe. These drives are all top of the line, but any drive can fail at some point, even the best SSDs. It's never a good idea to keep your files in just one place. I always make sure I back everything up to an HD drive I have mounted under my desk. Still, it's too easy to lose files. Maybe we thought we backed our files up, we format the drive for use and then realized we actually didn't. Or maybe you accidentally deleted files. I've done that more times than I'd like to admit. That is where today's sponsor comes in. Wondershare Recoverit is the almighty free data recovery software for all kinds of data loss situations. It can help you undelete accidentally and permanently deleted files, including photos and videos. It has an SD card recovery tool for anything from microSD to CF cards. It offers partition recovery, and of course, most relevant, it helps you recover lost data from both internal and external hard drives. And the best part, you can try it for free, and once you're fully convinced by what it can do, you can upgrade to a license that best suits your needs. If you're a student or a teacher, you can enjoy additional discounts. So guys, definitely worth checking out. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment. First, we'll do a speed test by Blackmagic, which I found to be pretty accurate. And then we'll do a real-life test in which we'll copy the same file to all 3 drives to see how fast each drive will copy it. All 3 drives are formatted so they don't have any information on them yet. They'll be cold, and to be fair, I'll be using the original cable that came with each drive. Lastly, I'm working on a 16-inch MacBook Pro, which takes both Thunderbolt 3 and USB-C 3.1 Gen 2. That's relevant because it's necessary to obtain the maximum speeds. Alright, let's get cracking. So the speed test is super easy. We select our target drive and simply hit start. First, the Sandisk Xtreme Pro V2, and here we see write speeds of 947 Mbps and 941 in read speeds. So we'll do the same thing for the Lacie Rugged Pro. This writes at 1939.8 and reads at 2551.7. That is just nuts. And lastly, the Samsung X5. The Samsung is slightly faster in read speeds at 1946.3, but a little slower in read speed at 2395.2. But at these speeds, is the word slow even appropriate anymore? Anyway, so that's all great and we have our numbers, but how do these drives perform when we throw an actual file at them? It is the exact same 26GB file that we used to test the T7 in our previous video. And it took the T7 exactly 30 seconds to copy the file, which was quite impressive compared to the other drives we were testing. But how does it hold up to these 3 drives? Let's start with the Sandisk, and for the purpose of this video, we'll speed it up a bit. Theoretically, this should be twice as fast as the T7, but surprisingly, it's only 6 seconds faster at 24 seconds. Now let's have a look at the Samsung X5. Wow, that's amazing. 11.8 seconds on a 26 gig file. That makes it more than twice as fast than the Sandisk. And lastly, let's throw the same file at the Lacie. 11.4 seconds, which makes this drive just a tad faster than the Samsung. But the difference is negligible. So which one is the best drive? A better question would probably be which one is the best for you. Let's face it, all of these drives are pretty fast. The T7 is a fantastic drive which can handle almost anything. The Sandisk is twice as fast on paper, but we saw that it doesn't quite fulfill its promise, and I'm not sure if it's worth the additional $110 over the T7. Now, if we're being honest, the other two are in a different league, and the performance is almost identical on both, but they also cost a lot more. Being a YouTuber having to move large video files around all the time, the insane speeds on the X5 and the Lacie are very useful to have. So I decided to sell my T7 and keep one of the two. And the one I'll be keeping is the Lacie. Why? Because the design of the Samsung doesn't make any sense to me. And the Lacie literally feels like a tank. I don't have to worry about breaking it, and at the same price, it just has that over the X5, so that's a no-brainer for me. Alright guys, I hope this video was useful to you. If it was, give it one of these, and if you like my content, a sub to my channel would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.